And welcome to tonight's episode of Winter and the Mailman. Tonight we are taking on Coach Stephen Posey from Bayard. And just to kind of prelude into tonight's conversation, Bayard just down the road was earned themselves a high school softball team. And it was all started by this man here, and it will be coached by this man here. And tonight we're going to talk with Coach Posey on his future plans with the Bayard Tigers softball team. Coach, welcome to Winter of the Mailman tonight.
Appreciate it. I want to say thank y'all for having me and bringing this wonderful topic here. And so it's awesome to have.
You hear this y'all stuff? He's originally from Louisiana.
You're already laughing at me, huh?
I'm from California, so...
I am so sorry. I apologize.
And I'm the only normal one. From Nebraska.
Not normal at all.
No, anyway, not a chance.
Anyway, Coach Posey and I met last summer.
Yeah.
During we both coached 18 and under girls softball teams. His was from Bayard, obviously. Mine was the Gearing team, and we hit it off right away. We had the same coaching philosophy.
Yes.
And Coach Posey is very knowledgeable with the game. And when did you start, the wheels turning for this high school team?
It honestly was probably November is when we really started getting kids started, coming in and asking me about softball and asking me, how do we get into it? Can you show us how to do things? And it just kind of built up from there, just kids wanting to come out and learn softball. And it just kept growing from there, and it's almost contagious now that we just keep growing, and kids are, kids that wasn't around the sport now starting to want to be around it and start want to do those things. So it's really awesome to see that growth. But back in November I had about 3 or 4 kids say, hey, we want to learn softball, and it just kept going on from there.
And I was around a lot of these girls. I've been around them a little bit this summer, helping you with your travel team.
Right.
And I saw the notification the other day on Facebook, and I was so happy to see this. And I'm sorry I didn't throw you a text right away, but I wanted to tell you congratulations. It's a huge deal. And I know, Brianna, I know I just cut you off, so I'm gonna let you jump in here with Coach Posey.
So I want to know what the process is to being able to get a team at a high school that didn't have one previously.
Yep. So the first thing we had to do was to show the community and show that there was an interest, right? So the first step was to have that summer team to show that there was enough interest to have a high school team. So it kind of let the community know, hey, this is something that we can viable and stuff. And then I brought it up to the superintendent, Dr. Miller, Travis Miller, which has been there for a while. And I said, hey, what's the best way to go about this? And so the first thing we had to do is we presented it to the school board that we were interested. It was just an informal during their public comment. We just had some girls talk and say, hey, this is what we want to know. We want to do that. And then the next month they brought me in and we answered questions for the school board. The school board put it in on as a discussion item. We put it on there, just talked about what we want to go through, how we need to go things, and what we see the program going. And then we did a plan of growth. So they wanted to show from starting in 3rd grade all the way up until they graduate and beyond. How am I going to build that program? How am I going to go about getting the kids where they need to be, the level we need to be to compete with these other schools? So that was the next step. And then the cool part, which after all those 4 or 5 months, was last Monday was the vote we had. So that was the last step in the long process of these things. So we got the yes votes, and so it was pretty happy.
So it's kind of like basically walking into a bank with a business plan, trying to get a business loan.
Right.
And you had to show them, hey, this is our potential. This is what we want to do down the road, and so on and so forth. And they voted. What was it, a 5-1?
5-1, yeah.
5-1 vote, and that's
Shame
amazing.
on that one person.
It's okay, and I'm always a person that loves a little adversity, because it drives me.
When we're coaching, it's good cop, bad cop.
Right. It's very much I thrive off that. One of our models is I took from Caitlin Groves at WNC is Together We Go. And that includes everybody, that includes our program. It includes y'all. It includes, getting the word. It includes our parents, our kids. And it includes those people that might not want to see us succeed. Not saying that school board member wants us to succeed, but there's other people that might not. But that also is part of our community and part of making us grow, right? So that even those people are still part of our program that makes us want to be great.
Now, one thing bringing in a brand new program into a school does is it pulls from other programs, and you're gonna see a little bit of a blowback from the cross country people, but I've met these girls. I've met your girls,
right.
And I know a couple of them may play volleyball and stuff, but these are girls that are extremely passionate about
Right.
softball.
Yes.
And you instilled that because like I said, I coached across from you this summer,
Right.
and I saw the way these girls responded to you. I mean, how you live in Gary, drive back and forth to Bayard every day.
I do.
And this guy, and I'm not even kidding you. Every Sunday, every Wednesday night, normally you have an open gym tonight.
I do usually, yes.
But he was so gracious to come sit with us here tonight. But these girls respond to him so well when it comes to that. You and I talked privately or off the record about you get those few people out there that are against it, and I know how you are. You're like, the more against me you are, the stronger I'm going to be.
Right.
And does it bother you even just a little bit that somebody out there that has nothing to do with your program is kind of trying to be negative about it? I'm not saying everybody is. I'm saying 90% of the people are very positive about this. But you always got the one or two out there.
No, I think, I've been around this game and been around sports for a long time, and you're going to have those people. And to me, we talked about this, to me it signifies more of what we're doing right versus what we're not doing. Because, it just shows that they know that we can be competitive. They know that we can be on that level with them. So to me, I thrive off that,
Sure.
And I don't shy away from that. It never bothered me, and I try to make sure our kids know mentally that that's going to happen. Going into the summer, it was going to be a big thing coming into Geary and Scottsbluff and playing some of these teams that we haven't had a team for 20 years. So we make sure that mentally we know that this is going to happen, and we have two choices. We could either wither in it or make it stronger, and our kids really, really have taken that. And even in the games I couldn't coach, they made sure mentally that they were still there and they were still understanding that, hey, this is going to happen, but we're going to be the bigger, stronger team and power through that. And they really take on that persona and do a good job with it.
So how many girls do you have now that are interested in being on this team versus how many do you think you're going to have in the fall?
Yesterday we had a meeting just to kind of see that, and we had 14 girls come. So this summer we didn't even have that many. We honestly had about 10 high school girls and about 3 or 4 sixth graders play this summer. My starting catcher was a sixth grader that did pretty well. So we have about 14 ready to play and ready to work and get going. And I tell kids, because some kids, I haven't played in a while. We can coach that. I think great coaches can coach wherever they're at. We have a system, and wherever the girl starts at, we can put them in there and build them up no matter where they're at. So 14 girls is a lot. I've coached teams that went really deep in the playoffs in high school with only 12, 13 kids. So 14's a good number.
I mean, kudos to that girl. I didn't start catching until I was 12. Pretty much, and I only got drafted as a catcher directly because of my arm.
Yep, and
I had never caught before.
And this girl never had any training before this summer, but she worked hard at it, and like I said, I feel confident in the way we coach in our process that no matter who comes in or what level they're at, that we could coach them up and make them better.
Now, as a Class C team, obviously there aren't very many. There aren't any Class C teams around here.
Yes, we're the best in C team around here.
I know that there's a couple of smaller schools that want to start a program, and I think that this what you've done might stir something up here. But what is your schedule going to look like? I mean, is it going to be traveling to Hershey all the time, or what do you think you're going to be able to do?
I think us having this team sets a really good opportunity for us to play some more teams in the valley, like Scottsbluff and Geary. I think one, it saves money for both schools, not having to travel so far for weekend games, and once again having us play that tougher competition. I'm a firm believer in to be better, you got to play better competition.
Right.
And so I think I'm looking forward for those schools to schedule us to have those competitions. But then you can Hershey started their season, their team last year, so we'll have to do that. And then we'll probably be in the district with Chase County and them, so we'll have to travel some further. We know that, but like I said, I think with the opportunities with the other 4 schools in the valley that we could schedule home and home doubleheaders with, where you're looking at 8 games right there plus the tournaments that they have on weekends. So I don't think it would be as much travel as people think, because we're looking forward to playing those B schools and stuff, because in the future we want to be at state, and to do that you got to play good competition.
Well, yeah, when you get down there and you're playing, maybe you've played this good competition all season long, and you get down there and it's kind of a breath of fresh air, because you're not dealing with
Right.
these big, but it's still 9 girls on 9 girls who
Right.
put their pants on the same way, right?
Yep.
And I know him too well. Because he's gonna put his best 9 on the field, and they're gonna be
Right.
competitive, and they're gonna play hard. And I tell you what, it was Dickens playing you guys as it was this year, because I'll tell you a short story here. When I was coaching this summer, and our first game of the year was against Bayard, and I look over there and I see Posey, and the first thing I did is I turned around and looked at my girls and I said, I don't know how these girls are gonna play, but I guarantee you they're gonna hit the ball. So, I mean, I obviously had known you when you were with WNCC, and that's actually what brought you out here, was WNCC, but your passion for the sport, and your family kind of fell in love with the area.
They really like this area. My wife has Phil at home. She works at Bayard as a parent, and then my 2 kids go to Bayard, and we really feel comfortable. We feel liked. We feel really part of that community. They really have taken us in and done that. So yeah, I mean, that's the reason we stayed. We came over here for WNCC, but we stayed because of how the community has made us feel, and we continue to do that, and hopefully for a while we can do that some more.
So I know there's going to be summer tournaments, but I'm sure that there's going to be something in the spring as well. So are you going to take your girls to go play in the spring to get more experience? Maybe Teams Colorado? So
within NSAA, you can't have, if it has to be a separate travel team for them, or you can't, with the rules you only have 4 kids. So our travel team which will be consistent of mostly of those kids, with some outside, but we're going to take them around and play some tournaments to get them more playing time.
What's the depth on the team looking like?
As far as
positions?
I'm not sure yet. We have some. I'm a firm believer that the more positions you play, the more opportunity you have to play. Right? So I coaching in college at Iowa Central and at WNCC, and it really shows you that if you can play, the more position you play, the more opportunity. And so we're really focused on that. Like, kids have come in and say, "Oh, I want to play this one." No, you don't. You're gonna get some position at other places just to get better.
That was my dad's mentality. So
I was just going to say, I can attest, because my dad was my high school baseball coach, and guess where I played? Everywhere.
Yep.
I played everywhere. After sophomore year, I never pitched again, though.
Yep.
So I am good to never step a foot on a mound.
The only 2 positions I don't do that with is pitcher and catcher, because those are 2 positions where you have to mentally be committed to it, or it's not going to work.
My sister was everything but pitcher, outfield, and I was catcher, first, third.
Yep.
A little bit outfield. But I played everything.
I played pretty much anything up the middle.
I played everything anyway, because my freshman year I was the starting center fielder. Technically I should have been the starting catcher, but because I was stuck in center field, I was the number 3 there and the number 2 first baseman. Right. And I'm like, okay.
When I was 10 years old, I remember my dad. That was the first year my dad coached me, and we came home one day and he goes, "Bud, what do you think about catching?" Because it was one of those things where he didn't have anybody else on the team to do it, and he basically said, "I'm going to throw my kid under the bus, and you're going to catch." And so I caught actually all the way up to
my
Legion Ball.
position.
And Connor's too. Connor was the same. My son, he's 12. But he's the same way. I was coaching in Little League. I'm like, when you catcher, well, I can teach you at home too, so you're going to be catcher, so we can work at home as well.
That's pretty much my favorite.
But no, we have some good young kids that are just, they just want to play. Like I say, hey, where do you play? They just want to play, and that's awesome to have that mentality of, hey, I'll play anywhere. You don't have to worry about, in travel team I play here and so and so. They don't have that. So it's pretty nice to have that. I think you're best here. Okay, coach, that's where I'm going. So it's really nice to have that with the girls.
It also doesn't hurt to have an athletic director play college ball.
Right. Yep. Tana Jis, Miss Tana Jis, she's our AD this year. She played at Central Community College. She was a catcher in college. So that's nice to have around, have that stuff. We have some other staff in the building that also have played college and stuff too that we're going to rely on for some of their expertise as well. So it's nice to have those around.
So when is that schedule going to start for next fall?
Yes, we are planning to. We had to register with the state by January, which obviously
Right.
have enough time to do that, and then we're going to start in the fall full bore.
And I guess my last question for this is, have you been contacted by any of the smaller schools around here on what you guys did to start this up? Because I know, and I'm not going to mention the school or the AD that's over there, but I know there's one school that is very interested in
Right.
getting it going.
That school, I knew talking about, has reached out and has talked a little bit about how we did things and stuff. But I think as we get into it, I think as we start going through that process of, because it just happened last week, I think as it starts getting out there, I've had parents from other schools, several schools have come contact me, just ask me about that and how to go about it. A lot of parents, because
I actually saw that conversation today on our group chat. Was it the one from Alliance?
No. This was from a parent from. Well, he didn't want to know. He didn't want to tell me. He
That's
didn't
fine.
want me to say where he's from.
That's
but,
fine.
But I mean, because I have conversations because my kids play sports. And my son wrestles, so if I go to a wrestling, I might see a parent or somebody from that school and come up and ask me about it and how's it going and stuff like that. So it's nice to have those conversations. I think anything that drives this sport in the right direction is a positive. We've talked about this when people start thinking differently about doing things differently just because of what we're doing. That's a win for girls.
Absolutely.
And for me in Western Nebraska, we can really make this sport huge, and that starts with these little programs. These different schools that want to work together to maybe co-op for a team. There's a lot of girls out there that maybe not have enough for one school, but if we co-op with schools, I think you really have a thing to grow and to have this sport grow huge, because there's a lot of kids around the outside of these areas that want to play.
And they're football all the time.
Right, and they're dying to play. And so we have kids that come over open gyms that don't play on a travel team, don't go to Bayard, but they come in just to get the work in. And so that's nice to see. And I've told you, I'm willing to help the community grow the sport regardless of what that is or how that's about it.
I can attest to that, because anybody, if whether he knows them or not, if they walk up and they want help with their hitting or whatever, Coach Posey's right there and he's all over it, and I don't even have to get a word in edgewise because he takes care of it.
Yep, and in Bayard, that's what we, our vision for our school is to effectively and adapt our programs for now and the future for our students, and that's something that we strive on. We really lay that on. Is that what we want to do? And this is part of that mission and our vision is to really help these kids. And like I said, it's always about the kids. I know I'm on the TV and all this and spotlight, but for me, it's about the kids.
Absolutely.
It's always about the kids first, and that's what drives me. I'm big on. I know softball, I know it, but for me, it's about the culture and about driving these kids to be good people. And is how it starts. Mm-hmm. And once you have that culture in place, then the rest of the stuff really falls into place. This summer when we play, our girls never ask what the score is. Our big thing was we didn't care what the score is. We were
that was always my biggest thing. What's the score, Coach? I don't know. Don't care.
So,
our girls 0-0 game.
Right. Yeah. So after the game, the kids will always say, "Did we win or lose?" Because we knew we wanted to focus on the process, not the result. So our kids knew we're never going to ask that score because it doesn't matter.
Right.
We're going to judge on how we played on the field, and like I said, Bayard has really taken that to heart, and our city is coming around that. Our city is redoing our field to get ready for high school softball, and that's pretty awesome to have them on board to do that and to get our field ready and things like that. So it's very exciting time in Bayard.
Don't let him fool you. Not only is he a great coach, but he makes a great etouffee, and he does an awesome crawfish boil.
That crawfish boil.
Well, Brianna?
I'm just glad to see that softball is growing in the Panhandle, because I know that there are teams all over the state, but really only 4 here.
Yeah. 5 now.
Well, yeah.
5 now.
Well, now. But I'm glad to see that it's growing, and thank you so much for joining us today and telling us about the process that you've gone through and to get a team to Bayard.
And telling our viewers about the process too, because I know there's probably a lot of people out there that may not even know.
Right.
And they're interested because, like you said, softball is growing around here. Yeah. And it really is. You're seeing it throughout the summer. You're seeing it in the school. We were talking a lot of softball earlier. We talked with Coach Dan Fox from Scottsbluff a couple weeks ago. And it warms my heart to see that, because I coach with Coach Posey here, and we love to see this with the kids. So,
and you know, these older people and stuff that's been around the game, especially, you know, come give back. You know, we're all, you know, we love those people that's been through it and have went through it and can give us that kind of feedback and stuff. It's nice to see those. You know, we want them part of the program because those people came before us, and we want to pay homage to them and help them stay part of the game and give it back to the younger kids.
Absolutely.
So it's really nice.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for coming in tonight. And I know that the Miss Brianna here she was excited about this one too, because, you know, when we were putting the schedule together, I said we got to get Coach Posey, and she's like, yeah, absolutely, we've got it. You know, we've got to know about this, and we're so happy that you came in and explained this all to us. I know that you and I would have talked about it anyway, but, you know, we wanted our listeners and our readers to know. We're speaking of readers, go pick up a
copy of the Star Herald and go check out for more sports coverage on the website. And I know I even talked to you. I'm like, I want to know what the process is for this. I talked about it like 10 minutes before you got here.
Absolutely, yep. And that this is actually the first time I've ever been this closely involved in a team and a school getting a new team. And that is a neat process, and I'm so proud of you, and I'm so proud of Bayard. I'm so proud of those girls, because I know most of them, and they deserve it.
Right, and like I said, another big shout out to our school board for really listening and to trying to understand what our kids want, and listen to our student body and listen to what they want, and giving them this opportunity to shine and show that it could be a very viable program for our kids.
Well, Coach Posey, welcome to high school softball, Bayard High School.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for joining us. We will see you next week.